The crazy, zany, wacky ladies of The View, Disney's ABC News talk show, just came out with a slobber fest for communism. No, seriously. We've got the video, we've got the clip, and we're going to tell you why. It's time for the FCC to dip into Disney's plans. When it comes to The View, they've crossed the line. Hello friends, welcome back. It is a joy to have you. We are coming to you from somewhere sunny USA, where the studio is glistening every time you're listening to what we have to say. A PhD level of understanding into the likely future mayor of New York and his Disney ties. That's right. Mamdani is a Disney man. Let's talk about it, friends. Click the like button, drop a comment down below, and let's go. They call it a news program. Disney does this. They call The View a news program, and they do that so that they can tell you that it's the #1 rated daytime talk show news program on network TV, which is plenty of disclaimers to finally get to what they're actually up to, which is if they were to just compare themselves to other shows during the day, The Price is Right gets like quadruple their views, and they don't want to say that. So they call it a news program. The interesting thing about calling yourself a news program and being under the news program blanket is that you're also under the watchful eye of the FCC. And the FCC, that has already tangled with Disney a few times, might have a lot to say about this one. Out of Entertainment Weekly, hosted by Yahoo Entertainment, Whoopi Goldberg calls out the View audience during Zohran Mamdani's interview. Y'all are going to have to calm down. Hold on now. We've got an hour of the show, Goldberg told the rowdy crowd. Why did she tell them that? Because they were ecstatically happy for him. And who is he? He's a former Disney guy who is a Democratic Socialist running for the mayorship of New York and probably is going to win. And if he wins, folks, I'm not here to be political, but I think he has a similar mindset as to how London is being run currently. Whoopi Goldberg looked off camera to address unseen audience members for making noise. Hold on now, she said. We got an hour of the show. The New York City mayoral candidate laughed at Goldberg's playful scolding. Now, I bring this up because under the fairness doctrine, and under the rules that the FCC requires for network news shows, they have to be fair in giving everybody running for this position. They have to give them equal time, and they have to be fair in it. Folks, there's no way to do that anymore. If you bring on a Democratic Socialist guy, who some would say is communist, I'm not going to weigh in on that, but if you bring him on and to raucous applause, and other people don't get that, well, take a look at this. This is hosted by The View. Literally, The View is the one that has this on X. We're going to pull it from them. Talking about whether or not Mamdani is a communist. And I want you to see just how The View is like Jimmy Kimmel, Joy Behar. The whole segment is about attacking Trump. Here's what they have to say.
Let's quickly tick through all the things that Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way, all right? Number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a Democratic Socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
Communist.
Did you hear that? I did not realize that people who are not Democratic Socialists don't believe in the dignity of all people. I did not. Did you guys know that? Let me play it again. Hang on.
That means I believe in dignity for all people.
He believes in dignity for all people because he's a Democratic Socialist.
Well,
you know what that means about everybody else?
His definition of dignity is giving people all of your money.
Oh. Let's keep on then.
It means more than that.
Yeah, I think
you're not a communist. I agree with that.
No, I'm not a communist. And I think, a lot of New Yorkers have asked me, what does it mean that you're a Democratic Socialist?
Yeah.
And I tell them to think about the words of Dr. King from decades ago. He said,
who was not a Democratic Socialist?
Call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. And that's the heart of it.
Okay.
That's communism.
Well, let's talk about that.
This just sounds like communism with extra steps.
Yes.
Here's the researcher says the Communist Party USA had their Good Morning Revolution meeting today. They discussed their support for Mamdani. Now, if the communists of America support him, does that mean that he's a communist? No, of course not. That would be silly. But what if he says that he's into communist kind of things, folks? Here it is. Let's play it.
Go further toward the Vienna model. We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing. ending subsidies for luxury housing development, and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects that offer good homes and strong communities to everyone.
That's right. Government's going to come in and do it all, baby. Government's going to come in and do it all.
I can feel culture vibrating already.
But before we go into it, because we're not a political channel, that's not what we're here to do, folks. If you're into communism, go back and read the history of the last century, and if that's not enough deaths for you, well, I don't know what's going to do it. So, but we're not going to go there. Culture. What I do want to do is say this: there's no way in the world that Disney can now bring on anybody else and give them a fair shake on the View, and they have no interest in doing so. I'm ready for the FCC. Honestly, I'm ready for them to come in and just clean house with the View.
Well, I think this is kind of just, hey, come on in, FCC. We're tired of this show. We're going to put on somebody that we can never possibly allow for equal coverage against, and we're gonna destroy the fairness doctrine that the Democrats put in place in the first place, because Rush Limbaugh was kicking their butt. So it's just there's a big problem in all of this, and all I can say is that Marvin had it right. I mean, it's communism with extra steps. This is what AOC is. I mean, you've already seen various levels of this at the federal level and maybe in other cities. I mean, Gavin Newsom's operation of San Francisco drove that particular city into the ground, and of course they took Nancy Pelosi's nephew and put him in charge of the state, and look at the entire state. So if you want to see what the results are of neo-Marxism, socialism, communism, thank you. I just wanted you to be able to ring the bell. This is it. This guy is pure poison. If he does win, and he's gonna win. I mean, I mean, you've got Newt Gingrich out there saying this guy's gonna win. New York becomes London, and it'll become its own thing. That the United States people are just going to leave New York, and they're just going to say, this is its own horrible UN-derived nightmare. And they're going to turn New York City into Detroit in 1 year.
Oh, wow, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about calling it Detroit. Okay, but the deal is, they bring him on The View with raucous applause, and the questions are all, President Trump says that you're bad. How do you respond? And then he says, oh, actually, I'm not bad, and God loves all people, and I'm one of God's peoples. And then the audience goes insane. Yes, Mamdani, we love you. And Whoopi says, calm down now. This is a love fest. They are practically having to spray the audience down to back them off of this man. It's a media, I can't say the kind of party that happens amongst lots of people in romantic interest, but it's like that on The View. Marvin, this is not news. The FCC needs to come into this thing. I never call for this, but this is too much, man. This is too much.
No, this isn't even the worst that they've done, Pro. A couple months ago, they had Anthony Weiner on the show to raucous applause. And they were like, you're so great. You're such a great politician. Doesn't Donald Trump stink? And people were cheering for Anthony Weiner, a man who went to jail for crimes that involved minors in adult situations.
Yep. That's Disney. That's The View.
Yeah, he look, and I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, the fact that you're going to take the most capitalist city in America, New York City, and you're going to put somebody in charge who's anti-capitalist. Do you know where the financial markets are going to run? It's not going to be Wall Street. They're going to head to Texas.
Yeah, Dallas. They'll go to Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yep, this is dumb.
Ron,
I've never seen something so dumb.
Ron, the funny thing about this is the guy has connections to Disney. He's worked for Disney before. His mom, I guess, was a director, and he came on as an assistant producer or something on some shows for Disney. Ron, there's a connection here that I find just uncomfortable, and I don't understand why the Walt Disney Company, which is a capitalist corporation with shareholders and all that kind of stuff, and they have lots of stuff in New York. I don't understand why they are so supportive of a guy who is an avowed socialist.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But what I can tell you is because I have a kind of a more intimate personal experience with this, is that I have a wife who is from Venezuela, and this is a repeat of what happened there. And because she tells me how at the time, over 25, years ago, when Hugo Chavez was coming up in Venezuela, this guy is today's Hugo Chavez. He looks the right way, he acts the right way, he says the right things, he's manipulating people in such a way that it draws younger people especially to this ideals, because it sounds, when you're young and you haven't put yourself into the workplace yet, you're not really striving for everything, and everything feels hard, right? So you're in your young 20s, everything feels like a challenge. And a guy coming in and saying, "Oh my gosh, we're going to give you all the food, we're going to give you all the housing, and it's going to be great." By the way, it's going to be equal distribution, but it's like everybody's going to be wealthy, and that's not the way communism or democratic socialism or whatever the heck label you want to put on what's really neo-Marxism works, which is the fact that you can't make everybody rich. You will only make everybody poor. And what's going to happen if this guy's elected in New York City? Are we going to see bread lines in 3-4 years like we did in the Soviet Union in the 1980s? So many people who have experienced what he's talking about in the past, having been implemented, it's never done in a way that can work. It's just everything he's saying is one big giant lie, and he's saying it in a way that they're buying it. But outside of the political realm of this, the fact that the View is allowing this to happen and calling themselves a news show instead of like a commentary show or whatever, it's a tremendous violation of the FCC. So you're absolutely right about them needing to come in. I don't understand. How does Iger not just shut this down?
Iger, listen, what has been Iger's biggest achievement in his career? Getting parks in China. Where if Disney does one thing against the Communist Party of China, they lose their investment over there. The man is insane. He has a proclivity towards this kind of thing. He is the anti-Walt. I mean, really and truly. We're going to play a little bit more of this. But, I'm going to have to weigh in on something political. And that is to say, folks, if you give all the power to the state, which is what this man wants. He wants the power in the state. When he talks about, we are going to build, all of these housing projects. We are going to build these grocery stores. We are going to build. That's the government. He's talking about the government, okay? If you give the government all that power, then what happens when one corrupt person gets in charge of the government? Then all the power goes into corruption. And it happens every single time they try this stuff. Let's play it one more time. We'll pick up where we left off.
So you're sort of like a Scandinavian type of politician, yeah. I would say, right? Okay.
A little more brown, but yes.
Okay. Okay, he's rooting for your opponent, Andrew Cuomo. Why do you think that is?
He is looking to clear the field for Andrew Cuomo because he knows that Andrew Cuomo would clear the field for Trump's agenda. We're speaking about a former governor who, when he looked at the deployment of the National Guard in California, told New Yorkers, don't overreact. This is a moment where we have to address the administration for what it is, which is authoritarian.
You're
Misinformation
the one that
machine.
wants to take people's houses and
Yes.
let criminals out of jail.
You want to take apartment complexes over, take them away from their ownership groups who paid the money into a capital investment, and you want first right of refusal, which means that if the tenants can't come up with the money, then and there's a bigger entity out there that you're going to prevent that from happening? Probably. See, this never happens the way these crazy people say it's going to happen, because they're not crazy. They want the power. The power dynamic is going to be ridiculous. And here's the thing. Congress is going to have to make a law that says you are no longer going to be our responsibility. Well, there will be no bailouts for every failure that this is going to create. Crime will escalate? I can imagine that, Ron's wife can attest to that. Crime went through the roof. You want to talk about Chavez and everything
He's already
else?
said that jail, like he's already said he's going to let people out of jail. People aren't going to go to jail. It's going to be open season. When this guy gets elected, I'm not going to go to New York City while he's in power.
I'm not going to go to New York. You better wall the state off.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's a Disney guy.
It makes sense.
He's a Disney guy. He wouldn't be where he is without Disney. And he's not going where he's going without Disney. Well, the View could put him and Cuomo. Listen, he and Cuomo can both go on The View. They should. But when Cuomo comes on The View, if there's not raucous, crazy applause, and by the way, I don't like Andrew Cuomo. What happened with the nursing homes is, he probably should be in the jail, 6 feet under.
Under the jail.
Yeah, under the jail. But Mamdani, which one do you want me to pick? The guy who is evil and corrupt, but won't turn it into, what we fear most in this world? I guess I got it. Yeah, I guess so. And I'm not trying to be political. I'm not a New Yorker. I don't have to vote in this. But hey, New Yorkers, if you think this is going to go well, what will happen here is everybody in the United States will just say no to New York, and it will become Detroit, as Culture said before.
This situation, it goes beyond the concerns of New York, because from what I understand, the Democratic Party is looking at this guy as this is our presidential hopeful. This is our new Obama. This is our superstar.
No.
Anyone that likes to say like socialism works or communism works, I'm like, point to one example in the world where it ever worked, for the common people and not just making the government rich.
They can't.
You can't.
Well, all I'm asking is, because we're trying very hard. It's difficult for us when we're talking about communism or quasi-communism. It's difficult for us not to be political because it killed a lot of people in the last century. It killed hundreds of millions of people. So we don't do that again, obviously. But at the very least, hey Disney, don't drive this man into stardom. You've already done enough. And if Disney's going to do it that way, if The View is going to do it that way, the FCC does need to get involved. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollywood each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun. Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.